I've been in the office with him so long this week that he's looking at him, you're good time to come, like.
Yeah, for,
Yeah.
we're trying to do it soon, but.
Very practice. The Frank will have, so there's a, another look for me, that how that learning curve is going on.
I'm here.
Hello.
Double trouble.
That's right.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Oh, man.
Good to see you. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right, that's all right.
Top of your, I've been good, man. I've been good. Busy.
Awesome.
Started out, 2024 with a bang. There's a lot going on.
Good. Good bangs in.
No, not all of it. Got some bad things.
Saturday night, couldn't confirm.
Yep.
We were right in the middle of it.
Oh, really?
Got video of the procedure.
No? Okay, so were you the one doing the Facebook Live?
No.
Okay. Yeah, we had an officer involved shooting Saturday night. We had a fatal hit and run here Friday night.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
We
So,
were on our way to the horse auction.
oh, is that right?
Did you buy one?
4.
How much?
Four.
Did-
4.
Just about four.
You
Wow.
bought 4 horses? Wow.
I have 15.
Okay.
That's a lot of horses.
That's a lot of feed.
I'm a little crazy.
Yeah, I guess so. Wow.
Well, I offered equine therapy
Oh,
for you guys.
well,
You get it. The track, you know.
yeah,
I'm a disabled veteran,
okay.
25 years. So, I do this for free.
Wow. How big of a property do you have?
5 acres.
Okay. Very cool.
I adopted a purebred Andalusian. Solid body. Still astounding. I've got enough of myself.
Mm.
I bought 2 Friesians and a Palomino. That and a little swatter. Can't have that.
No, heck no. Heck no. Well, that's very cool. All right, I'll see you guys in a bit.
Yeah.
San Bernardino County Sheriff Search and Rescue Unit executes a daring beach cave rescue.
Oh, the beaches in San Bernardino County.
No, is that the one when they went to San Diego?
Did you guys go to San Diego?
I don't know. It's, you know, not my.
Well, yeah, I had the CDC San Diego call for, they had a cave rescue down in the, what do they call it?
Carlsbad Caverns.
What?
It's one of,
Oh, I saw it this side.
it was, it's
Kind of
right off
trapped.
I think that's what they call it, they just call it the cliffs or something like that down
Really?
it. Yeah, he was trapped, wasn't very deep, it was he was about 15, 20 feet down the vertical shaft, but the rock, he was pinned between the hillside and a huge boulder.
I saw that, yeah.
So they had
Oh,
called.
yeah?
They said, hey, yeah, we heard you guys have a cave, like a cave rescue team and.
No, didn't end the way we wanted
I
it
said,
to.
well, our sheriff's department does. So, but they were hoping for, yeah, you guys carry like explosives and.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I said, the sheriff's department does, they have one of the few actually, certified.
So that was the sheriff that did that? I thought it was San Diego rescue.
Yeah, it's bad. the way around.
Well, San Diego,
Yeah,
when they called
it's
us,
tough.
they'd already
The
been
guys
out
are
there
going
working on
down.
the guy for like 8 hours.
Yeah.
And they weren't making any progress, so
Oh, okay.
they wanted to blow up the,
Okay.
I was like, well,
There it is, right?
No good.
so
Yes.
we don't typically use the explosives on the rock there.
How are you? How are things, Lord? Good.
Right, well, yeah.
Is that with the fire department?
Yes, sir. Microblasting technology. Oh, it's cool. I didn't know that they were advancing that.
They wanted, yeah, cause they initially called, like, well, yeah, they want, it was rescue, I'm like, well, it's not a rescue team, I'm like, so, Johanna gave me the number of the BC and their command center, so I called them, and I'm like, what exactly do you have? And he's like, well, we're told that, to ask for you guys, this and that, and I said, well, look at, I said, if we can help, I'm like, well, by all means, we'll send guys down there. I said, but before I get guys on the road, I want to find out that we have something that you guys don't have first. So he had the team manager that worked at the incident call me, and once he found out what I had, make you nervous.
I have it as a backup.
Well, I don't think they have it, so we're gonna have to. Did they email them? Okay.
Do you want me to check?
I got,
Because it was.
And I don't know, I got a call from Raphael, the building owner. It was Tuesday or Wednesday, and he had talked to Larry already. And the building had been tagged, and is that what it is? I was in Nevada when it happened, so I called Chuck, brought it to his attention. I said, we got a situation, Chuck, so I need you to come over and look at it. I said, I'm not there, so I don't know how bad it is. So he went over and looked at the wall, and the building owner had also mentioned that he wanted to restore the two murals, so. So Chuck, actually, it was a good thing, to be honest with you. Sometimes when you have a bad thing, it's actually good. And so anyhow, it brought Chuck and the building owner together. They met, they discussed it, and so Chuck and Holgi, his wife, are going to start the restoration in the spring. Part of the graffiti was able to be removed. I guess there was a, yes, it's a unique coating though. It's a matte coating. I don't recall Wayne Winnicky, he's our coder, but I don't recall him coating on a matte, creating a matte coat on any of the other murals other than those two.
So the others have.
Not all of them, but like mural 5, some of them do. The mural that we're now dealing with Desert Wildflowers is coated. So that's kind of it as well. Those have a gloss coat to it.
Does it allow, I'm not really, does it allow like a light spray to pull, or how do they?
Basically what the coating does is it seals the paint so that anything outside of that protects it. So it's supposed to have a UV protection and all that. So with the gloss, it's really just, a nice shiny color. The matte is different. It's, I don't know how to explain it, but you're gonna have the texture, okay? Whereas with the gloss, there's no texture. You know what I'm saying? It's just nice and smooth. So whether Chuck's gonna go back to the matte, I don't know. The coating, the building owner wants them coated. So he and Chuck, actually Chuck did say he wanted to come up with a semi-gloss coating when we talked about it. So the building owner's gonna redo the giant lizard first, and then down the road he's going to do the rookie. So I guess Wayne, who put the coating on, was able to get some of the graffiti off. I guess it had some type of a swear word or something on it. Yeah. That's what I heard from Raphael, was that the Taco Bell was hit in some other areas. So Taco Bell was able to get theirs off relatively easy. This was a mural. And like Larry said, he said, the city has dealt with graffiti before, but not on a mural. So we were trying to go through the various channels to determine. And then there has been a report filed with the police department. The city did that. So, and that's just kind of where we are. But there's, according to Larry, there's no restitution at this point because there's no suspect. So, yeah. So that's.
Let's hope that was just like somebody passing through.
Well, like you said, there was that, and then I heard there was some vandalism by an owner that had cars there on Sullivan, in which kids broke all the windows on the cars. So there was $86,000 worth of damage from there. So it seemed like it was all happening about the same time. Yeah. So, of course, the kids were off of school, so maybe that was it. I don't know. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, so, but that was, I've been wanting to update you and Keith, but it's been a busy time, and then Chuck finally, let me know that, he sent me an email today that he and Raphael met and had a good discussion, and so he kind of let me know where things are. Because I already knew they were going to, look to restoring it, I just wasn't sure how soon, so, spring would be good, for Chuck, yeah, because he said right now it's too cold and he couldn't do it. All right.
I'm fine, how are you? A little fry. Oh.
Is he taken? Can I sit here?
You may
Okay,
sit.
wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna share on the 3-minute on the MLK.
Oh, wonderful. Appreciate that.
Yeah, Sylvia got a little bit of a late start on that, so I apologize that,
Yeah, no worries.
that
I
kind of came
completely,
through.
spaced it too, so. Check should be ready tomorrow.
That's what you said, so she'll be coming
Yeah,
by
as
today.
soon as we get it, we'll, give her a call, let her know it's ready to be picked up.
All right. So what do we have a report on?
Oh, the creation of the youth council. Yeah, little presentation, little slideshow.
Oh, okay.
That's about it, yeah.
Just to do your duties.
Do my dues, yeah,
Keep
I was
us informed that you're
voluntold.
actually doing your job,
Yeah, I was
right?
voluntold, here, this is you. I'm like, okay, I got it.
Yeah.
I mean, who else? I mean, it makes sense, right?
I know. And the problem is, we know too much.
Mm-hmm, yes, that is problematic.
And if we don't know, we know who can.
Yes, or we just figure it out, right?
Exactly, it's sort of like, it's gonna be faster if I do it than I do something else.
Absolutely.
Could you lead us in the pledge? Could you lead us in the pledge? What's your name?
Daniel, sir.
Here we go. It's on you.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you wish to remain standing, the invocation by Reverend Don Thursbury from Little Church of the Desert.
Let us pray. Well, Lord, as we begin a new year, we take a collective deep breath before we dive into a fresh page which we can fill with accomplishments, with dreams, and the fulfillment of things that will be to the benefit of our community. We thank you for the leadership who have given of their time to be here, who are willing to devote themselves to the welfare of our town. We also give thanks for all who have come from a diversity of projects and programs and concerns, willing to put differences aside to look to the welfare of our city. We ask your blessing upon all of this as we come together to be of one mind, that you will bless this gathering and allow your wisdom to be a guide as we do what will be to the benefit of building up this community, giving some degree of prosperity to all, regardless of background or creed, and that you will give us all the fullness of real peace in the year to come. In Christ, amen.
Roll call.
Councilmember Wright,
Here.
Councilmember Scott,
Here.
Councilmember Mintz,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Klink,
Here.
Mayor Bildering.
Here.
All present.
There's nothing to report of the closed session announcements. And with that, should I read this now? We have a letter that came in for the closed session. I'll start off. Good evening, Ms. Viesquez. Unfortunately, I'm unable to attend the meeting today. Please consider this as my formal request for you to read the following questions during the meeting, specifically pertaining to the closed meeting about the council voting to move forward with initiating potential litigation against an unknown party. The questions were, if the council votes to move forward with litigation, what is the total estimated cost analysis for this endeavor? What is the potential estimated cost in reference to losses if they don't move forward? If the council votes to move forward with litigation, I'll use the big words, there are documented attempts to settle the matter that are most cost effective. 4, if we, the city, move forward with legal proceedings, do we run the risk of being viewed as a litigated entity? 5, long term, how long does the council anticipate these proceedings will take? Thank you so much for your dedication to our city. Best wishes, April Ramirez. There's nothing to report on that, but I had to read it anyways. Announcements. These proceedings may be viewed and demand on the City of Twentynine Palms website at www.twentynine-palms.org. You may also live stream this meeting by going onto the city's website and clicking on the meeting agendas link. Awards, presentations, announcements, and proclamations. Is Arch here? Morongo Basin Arch? All right. Mayor Pro Tem.
Please join me down here. Podium, please. On behalf of the City of Twentynine Palms, we thank you very much for you making Twentynine Palms more beautiful, and we would like to know where you cleaned up.
We cleaned up on Cactus, and it was the area between Park all the way to the area behind Circle K. So it was a break in there with a house in between, but we worked on the other side, and there was an incredible amount of trash when we got to like the Circle K area, because a lot of the wind had blown everything up against a wall. So.
All right, very good. For your kind services, there's a check from Burtech Waste.
Okay, thank you.
And a check from the City of Twentynine Palms, and we thank you once again.
Okay, I just wanted to acknowledge who helped. We had a client from Cactus who volunteered 4 hours with me, and then the next day, a Faith from the Tay Center in Yucca Valley brought in 2 clients, and we worked another hour. Well, 4 of us worked for another hour, and that's how we were able to finish it. And then we put everything over there. You would have seen a huge, gigantic pile that we collected. So I would appreciate your support of Arch, and we deeply appreciate what you do for us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The other presentation for Cash for Trash for Twentynine Palms girls basketball, they're on their way to Coachella. Well, they're probably playing right now. So I'll make sure this money gets to Coach Stanford. So thank you, girls, for all your work cleaning up the neighborhood. Moving on to number 2, presentation by Fire Chief Munsey.
Good evening, Mayor Builder and members of the council audience. I'm Dan Munsey. I'm a local resident here, having lived in the Morongo Basin now since 1992. I'm here today as your fire chief, and we're going to go through a presentation on Measure W, which is a potential repeal of our fire tax FP5. So I'd like to talk about what that is and the potential impact to that. Members of the audience, we do have some firefighters that are here. They will remain through the meeting. If you have any questions, they'd be happy to address those questions after the meeting or outside during the meeting. Next slide. Oops, I got it here. I'm blessed to work in the largest county in the United States. We cover 19,278 square miles. I don't need to tell you how big it is out here. What's interesting is that 78% of our land is state or federal land. There's one really important distinction there, in that does anybody in the audience know how much the state or feds give us in revenue to provide services to that area? $0. There is no property tax or any other funding that we receive for providing service to that area. We are also a California special district. Special district just like a school district or a water district. Because it says on our patch, San Bernardino County, people often associate us with the county of San Bernardino. That's not correct. We are a special district, just like your school, or your water district, or your hospital district. And as such, we're bound by fire district law. You can find that in California Health and Safety Code 13800. In 2023, we received almost 196,000 calls for emergency service. These include emergency medical calls, hazardous materials, rescues, aircraft, marine, and all other hazard emergencies. We are considered one of the largest fire departments in the United States, and I'm immensely proud of the men and women that work for us because, plain and simple, you have the best darn firefighters there are. I'm going to pause this, and I'm going to recognize that I'm very glad you didn't ask for the oldest firefighter in the room, because I expected that Captain Warwick was going to jump up and we were going to have to tell him, no, sir, you're not a firefighter today. You're still a sheriff. But I would like to recognize Deputy Chief Scott Tuttle, who's been here for a long time and served as your fire chief. He will be retiring in March after a very long career. Let's go to the city of Twentynine Palms. The city of Twentynine Palms was annexed into the San Bernardino County Fire Protection in 2016. Does anybody remember that? Prior to that, you had a fire department. They were having staffing problems, and there was associated taxes that needed to be brought forward to the community every few years. They were a basic life support, and we, all of the members that work for Twentynine Palms now work for us in San Bernardino County Fire. Through the annexation, the city was able to increase the service level to have paramedics on those fire engines, on that fire engine 24 hours, 7 days a week. In order to pay for the fire service, the city decided we don't want to do this annual tax that keeps sunsetting. We want to do an ongoing assessment that will always be there. So this assessment is known as FP5. It's an annual assessment that was originally voted by the voters in 2008 to provide fire, rescue, and EMS services to our county. The assessment was then expanded in 2018 to include all areas of county fire. As I mentioned, in 2016, Twentynine Palms had joined underneath that FP5 assessment. The FP5 currently accounts for 19% of our budget, so almost 20% of our annual operating budget. And I want to be very specific here in the city in Twentynine Palms. This is the only revenue we receive for fire protection. The County Fire Protection District does not get any property tax or any other fees or any other taxes. It is only FP5 that pays for your one fire station and your paramedics. This is showing the call breakdown, 3,226 responses. My whole career, when you get to about this number, it tells you really kind of need a second station. This is starting to become fairly busy. Your single engine here in Twentynine Palms only responded to 2,340 of those. So almost 1,000 of those calls were from Joshua Tree probably coming in, or Yucca Valley coming in to support the city of Twentynine Palms. So you're getting a great deal with your fire protection money. You're getting about 1,000 calls for service from surrounding areas. Now, if you lived in Joshua Tree and Yucca Valley, don't worry, I'm going to explain where some of that money is coming from. Now with FP5, the money that's collected here must be spent here. I can't take the money in 29 Palms and send it down to San Bernardino or send it up to Lake Arrowhead or Lucerne Valley, all areas that we cover. It has to be spent here in the South Desert Zone. Remember I said the station, there's only one fire station in operation. You know where it is, Fire Station 44. It has a crew of 3 individuals that are paramedics. The station, as I mentioned, is 100% funded by FP5. This is your service area. You'll recognize it. It is the incorporated area of 29 Palms. In the gray area is the unincorporated area, and the city's fire engine does respond in that unincorporated area, just like 29 Palms Fire District did before us. So what happens if there is no FP5? I'll go back to this gray area. The unincorporated area does pay property tax. They always have to support this. So what happens without FP5? There is no replacement revenue available. You'll have some people tell you that the county will give us money out of the general fund, and I'll remind you, we're not a county department. If you work for a school district or a water district or the hospital district, I bet you would love it if the county general fund would give you money too. But in general, they don't, because if they give money to a special district, they need to give it to all their special districts. I'm going to kind of table that aside because the Board of Supervisors does provide for public safety, and I'll show you in a minute how they do that. Station 44 is funded by FP5. Without FP5, there's a possible station closure to close that budget deficit. Frankly, there is no identified source of funding for that fire station. Without that fire station, there would be an increase in response times. Without that fire station, there could be an expected increase in insurance premiums due to fewer resources and a longer response time. I mentioned that the county does give us some money, and they do. Because of that unincorporated area, that's 78% of federal and state land, the county recognizes that there needs to be responses into that area. You can't have our citizens in 29 Palms and Morongo Basin crashing on the way to Lake Havasu and have no response. So here in the South Desert Service Zone, we have an MOU with the county, and they provide $1.8 million. That $1.8 million is spread across the Morongo Basin to help pay for service. So when the 1,000 extra calls that are coming in here to 29 Palms, that's because the county general fund provides for service in those unincorporated areas. I also want to give you some statistics on the South Desert here. The South Desert, for perspective, goes from Yucca Valley all the way out to Big River, all the way up to Needles, along the 40, and then back here to the Morongo Basin. There is, in that service area, 6 fire stations total. And that's about 8,000 square miles. You guys have driven to Big River. If you go to Needles, there's 1 fire engine. There is no fire engine in Big River. There is one in Havasu Landing. And then here in the Morongo Basin, we have one in Yucca Valley, one in Yucca Mesa, and one in Joshua Tree, and of course Station 44 here in 29 Palms. The South Desert as a whole, it's cost us about $22 million for that fire protection. The actual tax revenues that we bring in, the property tax paid for primarily by the citizens of Yucca Valley and Joshua Tree, Landers, Flamingo Heights area, Wonder Valley, that's about $10 million. So we have $10 million in property tax. We have 1.8 in a general fund, and we have the total FP5 tax, which not only 29 Palms pays, but everybody in the Morongo Basin is an additional $10 million. So the loss of FP5 not only affects the city of 29 Palms, it is your only revenue for your fire station. It effectively cuts 1/2 of the budget we have here in the Morongo Basin. Remember that I said I can't take money from 29 Palms and send it to Lucerne Valley or the mountains. I can't take money from Lucerne Valley, Hesperia, San Bernardino and bring it up here either. That's against the law. I got to spend the money locally. So without FP5, we effectively have 6 stations. We would need to trim our budgets by 50%. I want to thank you for your time and allowing us to educate you on this important topic. Measure W will be on the ballot in March. As a fire chief, I can't advocate for or against whether you vote for or against the repeal of our fire tax FP5. All I can do is educate you. My team will remain here for the rest of the night to answer questions. Is there any questions from the council?
question, when's Lear opening up?
I know you do, Joel, and thank you for that question. The end of the day, property taxes is, no, yeah, no. Somebody help me, I didn't say that. These guys are like, we're getting another fire station? Woo! We heard it, chief. Property tax is increasing in the Morongo Basin. That's helpful. With the loss of FP5, I'll tell you that it's not anywhere in the foreseeable future. As additional revenue comes in, Mayor Klink, that is one of two of our identified spots that would be a high priority for a fire station to be operating from. That station that is existing, we spent quite a bit of money to improve it this year, as you're aware, with the intention of opening it. Having that fire station open is beneficial to see in at 29 Palms. Believe it or not, when people call 911, they often call at the same time. So as your fire engine goes to a call, you get a second call, you're now waiting for Joshua Tree. Having that station open would immediately give you a second engine within a few minutes. Thank you for that question.
Anyone else? Nope. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, council comments, reports, and meetings attended. Councilmember Scott, you want to lead us off?
I don't really have any comments at this time. Thank you.
Councilman Wright?
I didn't attend, let me double check. I didn't attend any meetings or anything. I just enjoyed my new year. Actually got a chance to go back to South Carolina, so that was good. Thank you.
All right. Councilmember Mintz?
We did do the toy giveaway after the last meeting, didn't we? Yeah. Yes, we all attended the at Freedom Plaza. We had we gave away toys to the citizens of 29 Palms. The revenue from that came from the mayor's tournament, which was a great turnout. Stephen and Mac did a great job with that. And also I want to thank James from Ground Zero. He always comes through with lots of toys, and the money that we give him, he multiplies it. So it was a great turnout. So that's about all we did. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem?
I did go to the SBCTA meeting on Wednesday. No reportable action for 29 Palms in that meeting. But I do want to definitely wish everybody in 29 Palms and the Morongo Basin who is celebrating a birthday this month, happy birthday. And I have to say, happy 41st anniversary to my wife, Tori. I love you. Yesterday.
We'll clap for that. She needs a medal.
Yes, she does.
Yeah. All right, so for myself, I did the toy handout for the mayor's toy drive. Well attended and well organized. So thank you, staff, and all the volunteers that came and helped. I see a couple in the audience right now. And council, thank you for being there to support that as well. I went to the CMC and Toys for Tots toy drive and watched the beautiful things they were doing out there and supported them. Talked to some people. Meeting with staff and citizens. Let's see what else I had. Meeting with the lobbyists on Friday and still conducting interviews for the open T-bid position. That's all I've been doing. So, yeah, you're with me. Yeah. Okay, so we're moving on. Consent calendar. All matters listed under the consent calendar are to be considered routine by the city council and will be reenacted by one motion in the form listed. Any items may be removed from the consent calendar and considered separately by the city council. The public may be given an opportunity to comment on the consent calendar items prior to the city council action. Council, anything?
I'd like to remove item 6 for on the consent calendar.
Okay. And from the public, any concerns? Nope. Number 6.
I move the consent. I move the consent calendar, excluding number 6.
All right.
Second.
I was ahead of myself.
Councilmember Wright?
Aye.
Councilmember Scott?
Aye.
Councilmember Mintz?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Klink?
Aye.
Mayor Buildering?
Aye.
Approved 5-0.
Item number 6.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to call Captain Warwick.
Oh, dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. He's all happy.
It's a good thing.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the council. This purchase is for an OHV vehicle. It's going to be about $45,000. I just wanted to clarify that these funds do not come out of general funds from 29 Palms, and this is not part of the Schedule A contract that we have. This comes out of LISA funding, which is Local Law Enforcement Supplemental Account. Basically meaning the state designates money for local law enforcement that we can't use to fund, say, a new position, like the detective that you authorized last fiscal year. You couldn't use the LISA funding for that. What it is for equipment. We can coordinate special events, training. We've looked at calls for service in 29 Palms and really throughout the Morongo Basin, and we're doing this same program with Yucca Valley where we're going to buy 2 of these OHV vehicles and help improve the quality of life for your residents who sometimes have to repeatedly call about illegal OHV activity. There's a lot of places up here to legally ride OHV, and we encourage that. But when somebody gets woken up every Saturday morning at 7 o'clock because somebody's tearing across their property on a dirt bike, our regular patrol vehicles don't do a very good job catching up to them, and it's not safe to do so. So we just trained several of our deputy sheriffs here locally, and we need vehicles to put them in to go out and do that education and enforcement.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Captain.
I expect to be all lit up for the Christmas parade.
You know it.
All right. Thank you.
Captain, is this OHV going to be parked here in 29 Palms somewhere, or where is it going to be?
If we have a spot for it over here, that'd be great. We were actually looking at it. We have one that we purchased with county funding a couple of years ago. And we're purchasing 2 more, one for 29 Palms and one for Yucca Valley. We'll do operations where 2 or 3 of them will be used together throughout the Morongo Basin, but we could certainly use a good parking spot if somebody has one where we can, obviously we're going to want to keep it covered and in good condition, so we can certainly discuss that.
Is it possible for you to park it in my distinct parking lot? So it'll at least deter the criminals away, sir?
Well, it's going to have to be in some kind of a covered container so that it doesn't get vandalized or burglarized.
Yeah.
Thank you for the explanation.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I make a motion that we approve consent item number 6.
Second.
You guys are in sync.
Councilmember Mintz,
Aye.
Councilmember Scott,
Aye.
Councilmember Wright,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Klink,
Aye.
Mayor Buildering.
Aye.
Approved 5-0.
Public hearing, none. Discussion of potential action item, number 7.
Yes, we have a potential appointment to the Public Arts Advisory Committee, and we have the chair on a stump here to present the candidate.
Good evening and Happy New Year. The PAC would like to wish you all good wishes for the coming year. And we are very pleased to recommend a new member to the PAC to replace Ryan Heffington, who had to step down because his career just got to be too much. And so we would like to recommend Sarah Lyons to join the Public Arts Advisory Committee. And we hope that you would give her a few minutes to introduce herself. Is that fine? Okay.
Thank you. I'm going to keep this really short and sweet. I, as many of you know, am a business owner. I own Scorpion Lollipop downtown. I'm fairly recent to 29 Palms, but I'm really, really excited to be here and really enthusiastic about the future of the city. I really want to say thank you to Anna and the rest of the PAC for the recommendation. I'm really honored and grateful to be considered. I'm passionate about art in the community, a fact to which I think a few people here can attest. And I really look forward to the opportunity to be a part of the PAC, and I'm really excited for the future of public arts in 29 Palms. Thank you.
Thank you. Council, any questions?
No, not me.
I make a motion that we appoint Sarah M. Lyons as a standing member of the Public Arts Advisory Committee.
Second.
Councilmember Scott,
Aye.
Councilmember Mintz,
Aye.
Councilmember Wright,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Klink,
Aye.
Mayor Buildering.
Aye.
Approved 5-0.
Welcome.
Right. I think that's what everyone's here for, right? Number 8.
Carry me the tree.
Good evening. Do we have the PowerPoint ready to go
PowerPoint.
by chance?
PowerPoint.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
It takes me a
We
second.
got slow Wi-Fi in here.
Carrie, is there?
I have the clicker.
Is the clicker there?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
if you want to just load it up, that would be great.
That's FP5.
The escape. Come on, come on. No one told me about this one. Let's hope it's here. Nope. Do we know
If
where-
not, I can just
Did
read
you add
through.
it? Did you add it on?
Yeah, it's in the staff report.
All right,
Oh, in the staff report.
Yeah.
It's in the, on the
all
agenda.
right. I thought you brought up the staff report. Hello. I don't know. You guys are catching me.
No worries, yeah, I'll go ahead and get started. So after public discussion and direction from the council to begin the process of creating a youth council, I've done some research and I've put together a brief PowerPoint presentation outlining the benefits of offering such a program, as well as the steps that will need to be taken in order to be able to create the program.
I have no idea.
It's okay if you can't find it, I'll just read through. Okay, so what is a youth council? It's an advisory body of local youth, typically comprised of middle and high school age students, to provide input and ideas to the local governing body regarding events, community service projects. There we go. Programs and youth identified community initiatives. All right. So why create a youth council? So youth need to be vested with knowledge and skills to be the next generation of local leaders. It allows for involvement with and promotion of regular and active civic community engagement. It'll create exposure to social involvement and participation. Youth will be having a formal role in decision-making. They'll have real-world experiences with elected bodies. They'll be exposed to the political processes. They'll develop leadership skills, and they'll learn to increase communication skills with their adults and peers, and exposure to volunteerism and giving back to the community, all of which are important for today's youth. So who benefits from a youth council? The answer is all of us. So youth voices will be heard in local government while gaining the value of public service. Service will be beneficial for college and scholarship applications. The community will benefit as a whole, as important youth issues can be discussed and addressed. Youth can increase their behavior, confidence, societal skills, and experience a sense of purpose. Participation can expose youth to new skills and service and leadership roles. The benefits are endless. And finally, how do we get started? So I put together some goals for implementation. So what's next? What we'll need to do as a city is adopt a resolution that establishes a youth council. We'll need to seek advice from the city attorney, and we'll need to appoint a city staff member as the youth council advisor. So after these items are achieved, workshops will address the building blocks, such as membership composition, how many members will be selected to serve on the youth council, the establishment of length of member terms, determine the responsibilities of the members, age determination, criteria, and then who will serve on the youth council member selection committee? Will it be a council member, city staff, things of that nature? And then creation of an application for potential youth council members, which I've already put together. A budget, recruitment and interviews, and I would highly suggest a workshop be held with youth in the near future to discuss these items so that we could potentially move forward with creating the program. So I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have some.
Council?
I'm trying. Just do keep in mind that we would be starting this program from scratch, and like I had mentioned, I think it's really, really important to involve the youth with building the foundation for this program, because we want them to have ownership in it. We want it to be meaningful and for them to want to be involved. So I think we can schedule workshops with the youth. We can go out, advertise, bring them in, and build the foundation for this program. So.
I would like to add that Carrie was very instrumental in the choices program that we had. It was a few years back, I'm not even going to guess.
20-some years back, yeah.
I wasn't going to say that.
Quite a while ago.
So she knows where she's headed here. That was a pretty decent program that had some good results in those days.
Carrie, do you think the first three on what's next can be accomplished by the next council meeting in 2 weeks?
Potentially.
Potentially?
No promises, but potentially, yes.
And then if it does, I know you work miracles, so if it does happen, then we can move on to the membership and we can.
Absolutely.
So maybe a workshop mid-February?
Yeah, I think the first three are the hard part.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Okay?
I know this is something we want to get going, but you know how things are. We start letting it go and it starts sliding, and then the school year's
absolutely.
over, and then we can't get no kids because they want the summer, so.
Well, I've done quite a bit of research already, and I kind of have some building blocks to get started. So, and as Larry had mentioned, I have a little bit of, experience with working with
We
youth
sat and talked. I was
all that stuff.
excited.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
okay.
so.
Thank you so much for
Okay.
everything.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Anyone else? Audience, any questions? There's one.
No, so that'll be determined by the youth when we actually start putting the program together during the workshop.
So you have to approve the creation of.
We're gonna make sure you in it. Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Accepting volunteers.
All right, council, recommendation or approval? Vote? This
Oh, we
program?
gotta approve this?
I move that we form the youth council.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilmember Scott,
Aye.
Councilmember Wright,
Aye.
Councilmember Mintz,
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Klink,
Aye.
Mayor Bildrain.
Of course.
Approved 5-0.
Number 9, city council regional organizational assignments. The ones we had last year, everyone's good with their assignments they had last year. I think the only one we're going to move is the personnel subcommittee from me and him now. Since
The Personnel Subcommittee consists of the mayor and mayor pro tem.
That's the only
so-
ones that have changed. Everything else was, everyone agrees on everything else? No changes? Can we just say aye? So I do roll call? Aye. Aye. All in favor, aye? Yeah.
Aye.
Aye?
Yeah.
All right, that was pretty easy. Future council initiated items? Council, anything new? Mr. Larry, on the number 1 and number 5, because I know the other ones are being worked, it takes a process because we're dealing with outside people. Can 1 and 5, can we get a closure on those so we can move forward and get them off and, just for your record?
Yes,
It's not a
we can.
slideshow, just paper and pin that. You're looking at me like I spoke, said it in
No,
Spanish.
I-
or something.
I gotcha.
All right. Yeah, just number 1 and 5, we can start closing these out, please.
We closed a few out this week.
Yeah.
All right.
I know some of them are in process because we've had some of these discussions, so.
Yeah, I think the number 1 is the seasonal banners. That is something we have to work with the base, correct? Because that's something we wanted to do with the military.
You mentioned you have a meeting with them this week, so you can possibly discuss that.
Okay.
That's why I said 1.
One's on. Peacocks.
Yeah, can we just fix that before we can move on?
We should be able to take that off, man.
That's when you know what? Didn't we come up with some,
It's still on here, so apparently it's not done. That's why I'm saying if it's done, let's remove it.
The reason it's on is because you were asking for an ordinance to be created. Now, if you don't feel that an ordinance needs to be created, then we can take it off. But that was your suggestion, Mayor Pro Tem.
I think I put wanted it to come back to council to do an ordinance of not being able to feed peacocks because they are wild animals.
But they may already be listed under the wild animal ordinance with animal,
Yeah, I
with
think we
the
have
animal
don't we have
shelter,
a,
maybe?
don't we have a generic one already?
We might have to look into that, but I think it's already listed as that. And we could just add them.
we just look into that?
we do
Listen to
have
that.
a wild animal
Yeah.
ordinance.
Yeah, so if they consist of all of it, then parentheses peacock in there or something.
Yeah, and we're probably not going to come across a peacock issue again, so it's probably safe to take it off.
Yeah. Right.
You
Thank
caught
you.
me a little off guard on that one.
I know,
I
I'm
didn't
just-
see that on future agenda items.
I'm just
the other
testing
day.
you.
You did?
No, I did not.
Not on our agenda list, but it's always
Yeah.
been on here.
Oh, okay. All right, that's the reason why. Okay, thank you.
All right, we're moving on. Public comments. This is the time for the public to address the city council on issues within the jurisdiction of the city council that are not on this agenda. All comments are to be directed to the city council and should not consist of any personal attacks. Members of the public are expected to maintain a professional, courteous decorum during their comments. There is a time limit of 3 minutes per person. If you haven't already done so, please fill out name and address slips and give it to the city clerk. The city council is prohibited by state law from taking action or discussing items not included on the printed agenda. Public comments or specific agenda items will be deferred until consideration of the item on the agenda. Do we have any public comments in the stack? All right. First up, Ms. Leanne Clark.
Thank you, Mayor Bilderang. A couple of matters. On behalf of the 29 Palms Ministerial Association, we are partnered with 29 Palms Bible Baptist Church with its 25th anniversary for the Martin Luther King Jr. March and Prayer Bowl. It will be held on Monday, January 15th. The theme this year is Living the Dream. It starts with me, spreading hope, courage, and unity. There will be a march that the public is invited to participate in, which will start across the street at Little Church of the Desert. Please wear comfortable walking shoes and dress appropriately for the weather. You all will convene and start here at Little Church, and you'll head down to Palms Baptist Church. It's roughly about a 20 to 25-minute walk. It's really nice because you pretty much are going downhill, so you'll be in good shape. And the prayer bowl will begin immediately at 9 a.m. As you all know, Dr. King was a minister, so the service will be held in Palms Baptist Church Sanctuary. There will be various speakers, worship, expressive dance teams, and we also want to thank the City of 29 Palms for providing the funding for sack lunches for everyone to have as they exit the service. So that's a wonderful thing. The second thing I want to update you on the from Action Council for 29 Palms with the mural that was tagged, Chuck Kaplinger's large giant lizard mural, which is on the east wall at the Edward Jones Farmers Insurance Building. Personally want to thank Larry Bowden for his assistance with this. The building owner notified him immediately, and he, of course, communicated with me of the Public Works Department here of how we could address the issue of the tagging. We've not had this happen before on a mural. So we had a very effective week this week. The building owner has communicated with the artist, Chuck Kaplinger. And Wayne Winnicky, I understand, also removed, there was an explicit word on the building. I understand that's been pulled off. And Chuck will determine how to remove the rest. He's either going to have to paint over it, or we'll see if there's some kind of solvent to remove it. But good news, the building owner has requested Chuck and has retained him to restore the mural, and that process will begin in the spring. So you will see a beautiful, pristine, large lizard, and it will be coated. Chuck plans to coat it with a semi-gloss coating, and hopefully that will benefit in easier removal as well. So those are the two things I wanted to bring to your attention with our murals, and then, of course, the opportunity of being involved with the Martin Luther King Jr. event. We also want to thank Mayor Bilderang. He will be participating along with presenting a proclamation to 29 Palms Bible Baptist Church for their service with this. And I thank you guys.
Leanne, what time did you say it started?
The march will begin promptly at 8 a.m. So those of you wanting to participate, please arrive by 7:45. And determine your transportation. Just be aware of it. We're trying to see what we can work out, because some are going to park here and, of course, walk down, and they're wanting to know how to get back. So just kind of think logistically of how you want to navigate that with your vehicle. And once they leave at 8 o'clock, they're heading down, and then the prayer bowl begins at 9 o'clock. There's plenty of time for people to have time to, just kind of get ready for the service. So it's roughly about 20 minutes before it starts. So, and we've had no problems with it, and everyone's enjoyed it over the several years, the 25 years they've been doing it. So yeah, and everything's been wonderful. So again, we invite the public to attend. It's an amazing event, and not every city hosts this type of event, so we definitely want you to be involved in it as well, because it's a great experience. And learning about Dr. King, the civil rights movement, and what that time frame was like, during the 60s when these things were happening. So again, we hope to see you all.
Thank you. Next, Ms. Delisa Chase.
Mr. Mayor and members of the council and the community, thank you for letting me speak. I wanted to quickly speak on an incident that some may have seen on social media or whatever, and I want to publicly go on record that Mr. Mintz and myself have managed to reestablish a great relationship, and so I don't want the city council or the city of 29 Palms to have a black eye because of this. I hope that the community, if anybody was upset about it, will forgive, because I have. And what I wanted to put on the screen, you made a donation to my ranch. I have a ranch called Whispering Sands Horse Ranch, and I do equine therapy. And he likes people. Anyways, sit down, good boy. I do equine therapy for those who have been diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety issues, sexual trauma. I do women's groups for women who have gone through domestic violence and whatnot. Mr. Mintz graciously made a donation to the ranch, and I wanted to let you know, because I always like to let my donors know where their money went. I went to Cabazon and went shopping. And I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Here's my new purse over there. Anyways, with your donation, you saved 2 more horses from slaughter. And I want to say thank you. One is a very beautiful Palomino, and the other one is a very beautiful Frisian that I was able to get at the auction on Saturday night in Miraloma, and he's just gonna go over there. And so thank you for that. I have 2 wonderful new additions because of you. So again, if anybody saw the video, was offended by the video, please forgive, because we're here and we need to be helping each other as a community. And moving forward, Mayor Bill Durain and myself have discussed doing education events for ADA regulations and whatnot. So looking forward to that and helping with the city the most that I can. So thank you. I won't take up any. Do you have any comments, Kobe? No.
Thank you.
Kobe says thank you.
Thank you. Next, Mr. Nick Foley. Oh, should realize the name, yeah. Give your full title.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Pastor Nick Foley from Set Free Church. I just wanted to say a few things. We have officially gone through with all the insurance of the new property in 29 Palms, the new ranch property for addiction recovery for the city of 29 Palms, for the homeless, for anyone. Anyone is allowed to come into our recovery program, and it is free to the clients that come in. So I went through all the insurance and everything is a go. I will be going this week and signing the lease for the property for a year lease and giving the first and last month's rent. And on the 3rd of February, so we'll be moving in somewhere around the 15th, but on the 3rd of February, some of you might have an invitation in front of you. I would like to invite all of you guys to be there and come check out. It's a really beautiful place for people that are struggling and less fortunate, and those are my kind of people, man, and I want to reach out to this community. And it is a beautiful thing that everything has went through at exactly the right timing, because in the meantime of waiting and kind of having to postpone the last open house event, in the meantime, we've got 2 men from the city of 29 Palms. One of them was homeless for about 2 years out here, and he was between Dollar General and Del Taco, running when his wife and daughter would come try to see him, running from the backs of there, ditching him and dodging him because of the addiction and the alcoholism and all that. And I am proud to announce that he has completed the first phase of our program in the last 60 days, and he is in second phase, and his wife and daughter have been visiting him at church, and he is so that's one of them. And then another gentleman, the courts in Joshua Tree had released him to our custody, and he has now completed the 60 days of our program and is in second phase. And those 2 gentlemen will be at this open house, and they will be giving their testimony of what happened and how it happened, and how this our church, the ministry, has helped them to get their life back in order. And we plan to do so with many more in our community. And like I said, anyone and everyone is welcome. There is no favoritism, there is no special people, anybody, and we want to reach out to anyone and everyone that needs a helping hand to get off these streets and get their life back in order. So I think that is about it. If you have any more questions, I'm free to answer any right now.
What time
When
is
you said
open
that
house?
the court had them come to your, do they give you funding for that? Do they?
No.
No?
No, we're not federally or state funded at all whatsoever. The second phase of our program, we go and do blessings. They're called work blessings. We go out and do things at concerts, Coachella. We work Coachella. The guys that have been through the first phase are now working, and that money comes in to support our ministry. But no, they didn't. No.
What time?
It is at 11 a.m. I got one right here in front of me, just remember. But I'll put a few of these flyers out there on the desk, and some of my business cards also, in case you want to contact me and ask any questions. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you.
It's at 155 La Buena Tierra Avenue. That's off.
Yeah, give her a flyer.
Okay, I will.
We have the directions on it, too.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Jen DeFalco?
Hello. I wanted to thank you guys and James from Ground Zero, Angie from Winging It, and of course Pastor Nick from Set Free for helping all the children of 29 Palms receive a gift this year. You know, the generosity was deeply appreciated, so I want to give a thank you to all of you. The other thing I want to address is on Thursday, it is supposed to be down a low of 29 degrees here in 29 Palms. And I am concerned if we have any protocols or things in process for our homeless that would be out while it's this cold. Currently, we do not have the heating and cooling center. It's still a process securing a building, but that would only be open during the daytime hours. We don't have anything to utilize at night. So I don't know if you would reach out like to Robin Slosher at the senior center, but this Thursday it's going to be extremely cold. And I've been going out every night about 2, 3 in the morning, still feeding them, bringing sleeping bags and blankets, and it's very cold. So I just wanted that brought to your attention. Thank you.
Thank you.
City manager's update?
I'm going to take a course on running this computer. I was going to mention Martin Luther King Day, but Leanne caught me there. We did meet with the federal lobbyist, and we got some very good information. And I was going to do an update on the traffic, the things that the city has done, but I got some more information today. So we'll probably put it on as a agenda presentation because I think it's somewhat impressive as a citizen of this community that didn't realize what was going on, but I didn't pay much attention. I'll be serious, but I'm pretty impressed with what's happened here in the last 4 years for traffic studies and improvements and the grants that we received, and I'm going to bring that to you next 2 weeks from now. Hopefully.
On a slideshow?
On a slideshow.
Okay.
And that's related to the traffic situation around the schools that one of you brought up?
Right. Right. That's why it's not on the agenda anymore, because I was going to do it tonight, but it needs a bigger presentation than I was going to do.
Okay. Council, anything else? Any last minute rounds? No? Martin Luther King, Dr. King's weekend. I just want to end this meeting with a quote that he put. It seems fitting for our city. He said, we all may have come on different ships, but we're all in the same boat now. So if you look at this city, that's where we're all right now. So I want to thank you all for a quick, peaceful, non-clapping meeting with a bunch of smiles. So a lot of good things happened today, so I do adjourn this meeting.
Huh?